In today's video, we're going to talk about more Triston Casas replacements, specifically from the comment section on yesterday's video. There are some interesting options that I want to discuss and ones that I think genuinely could happen. But before we do that, if the Red Sox do end up making a move, we will have a video here on the channel. You don't want to miss any of the latest Red Sox news, any of the latest Red Sox rumors. We have you covered. So hit that subscribe button right now if you want the latest around the Boston Red Sox. We are less than 20 subscribers away from 1,600. Join the family. Join the nation. Make sure you subscribe right now. So if you guys don't already know, according to all of the reports that have come out over the last few days, Triston Casas is done for the season. If you've been living under a rock, that was the big news of yesterday. Thank you to everyone that watched that video, by the way. One of the best performing videos of the last few weeks, so I really do appreciate that. But Triston Casas, ruptured left patellar tendon, out for the rest of the season. It's going to be Romy Gonzalez and Abraham Toro is kind of the platoon at first. They are also working Vaughn Grissom in AAA, some reps at first base, and yeah, they're kind of looking at everything. Although Alex Cora was adamant yesterday that Rafael Devers is the DH, not the first baseman, which I actually agree with, because Devers is now just getting into his routine as a DH, and he's starting to hit really well. The last thing you want to do is completely throw him off his routine and make him play a position in the infield once again. Keep it how it is. From all reports, from everything that we listened to with Cora, he sounds confident with a platoon of Romy Gonzalez and Abraham Toro. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think a change may need to be made soon, but for now, that seems like that's what it's going to be. But let's talk about some potential Triston Casas replacements. And I got all of these from the comments of yesterday's video. So that's why you comment on the video, because sometimes I'm going to take your comments and use them on a future video. But let's get into it. We're going to talk about a few obvious ones, and then a few internal ones that I think are, for lack of a better term, ludicrous. But let's get into it. Let's start with one that I thought was actually kind of interesting, and that is Pete Alonso. Now, when we're talking about some of these players, it's tough because Casas will be back next year. And so a few of these would require a trade. And Pete Alonso is an interesting one. He has come out after re-signing with the Mets on, I believe it was a one-year deal, if I remember correctly. He will be a free agent again next year, again, if I remember correctly. And he has absolutely burst onto the scene this year, for lack of a better term, because we already knew he was really good. But after signing that smaller contract with the Mets to stay with the Mets, he has absolutely proven that he probably should have gotten a bigger deal in the offseason. He's already got a 2.3 WAR. He's batting .345. He's got OPS of 1.136. He's got 8 home runs, 30 RBIs. It's interesting to think about because obviously, like we said, Alonso did not sign the big contract this offseason. He came back on a team-friendly-ish more deal to stay with the Mets, but I don't think that this is realistic. I'm just going to be completely honest because, one, he's playing incredibly well. He was NL Player of the Month to start the season, and his value's only going to go up. And who are you going to play at first if you're the Mets? I mean, I know you could Mark Vientos maybe were some thoughts, but I don't think the Mets have any reason to get rid of Pete Alonso because, one, they are the hottest team in baseball right now. It's a win. This is a win now team. They are trying to win a World Series this year, and I think they'd be doing themselves a disservice if they traded away Pete Alonso, by far the best player on their team so far this year, to the Red Sox, who desperately need him. I don't even know what that trade package would look like. You would have to give up massive prospects and massive trade chips to get Pete Alonso. So while it sounds like a good idea on paper, I wouldn't do this, and I don't really think it's that viable. I would not be seeing a Pete Alonso trade coming down the pipeline anytime soon. The same can be said about Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who was also brought up in the comments. What if we call Toronto about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? This is also kind of the same situation. I don't necessarily see a reason why they would do that. And by that, I mean why Toronto would think about that. Because They just committed 14 years, $500 million to make Vladimir Guerrero Jr. the face of their franchise for the next decade and a half. I don't see why they would then ship that off to a division rival in Boston just because Boston needs a first baseman. You'd be helping your rival team fill a drastic hole by shipping away the face of your franchise, superstar of your franchise that you lock down for a decade and a half year deal. It doesn't make any sense for Toronto. I don't even see Boston trying to do that because it's so unrealistic. Obviously, again, like Pete Alonso, the trade package would be absurd, and it's just not worth it for 1 year of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. if Triston Casas comes back. Now, look, if you were to trade for Vladdy as opposed to Pete Alonso, you'd have him for the 14-year, $500 million, blah, 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 blah. So obviously Casas would go. But again, Toronto's not going to do that. It doesn't make any sense, I think, for either side. I think the trade package for Boston would make zero sense. They'd be giving up so much. And I don't think Toronto would want to give away the face of the franchise that they just signed to a 15-year, $1 million deal. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But let me know, would you try to strike a deal for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? Would you trade for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. if you were Craig Breslow? Type Y for yes if you would. Type N for no if you would not. Again, I would say no because, one, I don't think Toronto would do it. I think they would laugh in your face. And two, if they were to even consider it, you would have to ship off so much. The trade package would be absolutely ludicrous. So I would not do it. But you let me know. Let me know if you would get crazy. Y for yes, N for no. Would you trade for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? Another one that I saw that I actually thought was kind of interesting was trading for Andrew Vaughn of the Chicago White Sox. Now, Vaughn has not had a good season. He's at minus 1.3 WAR. He's batting 174. He's got an OPS of 490. He's got 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, and on paper, doesn't look good. But that's a reason why it's actually kind of interesting to think about, because you wouldn't have to give up realistically anything of substance to bring him over to Boston. And the White Sox are not getting good anytime soon. So if you could ship them some lower level prospect that the White Sox are intrigued by, you could bring over an Andrew Vaughn who, yes, has not played well for Chicago. But from all accounts, maybe it's just a change of scenery. Andrew Vaughn last year was my MVP of the Chicago White Sox. Now, that's not saying much because the White Sox were bad, but on that bad team, he was by far the best player. Has not started off hot this year, but no one on the White Sox has started off hot this year. This would actually, of everything that I heard, would be one of the more intriguing replacement candidates because it wouldn't be like a one-year rental. You would have him competing with Triston Casas for the first base spot next year. And I would be completely, incredibly intrigued to see how that went. Last year, he had an OPS of 700. He hit 19 home runs. He batted 250. Those aren't bad numbers by any stretch of the imagination. He's a league average, if not above league average hitter, which, everyone's been complaining this year that Casas has not hit. So if you bring in Andrew Vaughn, that could be actually a very interesting option that I think the Red Sox might consider. Honestly, I don't know if they've made any calls. I don't really know what they're doing in terms of replacements. I'm sure they're at least looking at the market, but that one would be interesting. And when I read that comment, I was like, that's actually a really interesting option. And that's one that I would definitely consider if Vaughn is available to try to bring him over to Boston. The last external candidate, this one I saw 5 or 6 comments on. There are a million articles that have been written about it in the past few days. Go sign Anthony Rizzo. I'm not against it. I'm going to be completely honest because it does not hurt to bring in another veteran presence. You've already got Alex Bregman on this team and Trevor Story on this team who have both, been in the league for a long time. You've got Alex Bregman who's won World Series. Why not bring in another World Series winner who's got 10 plus years of experience to come in and help anchor this very young team, because we're going to talk about last night's game here in a second. This team is incredibly inconsistent, and they need even more veteran leadership presence. Alex Bregman cannot do it all himself. They need more veteran leadership presence on this team, and you're not getting Rizzo for, like, the money you would have to give up for Rizzo would be pennies on the dollar, because he's not on a team right now. He's still a free agent. He is on the back end of his career, and last year he did not play well. So, like, I think that this would be a cheap veteran option, giving him another chance to play ball. You know, it's a win-win scenario. You give Rizzo another opportunity, and you're bringing in a very cheap veteran presence that has success winning World Series in the past that could help be a very valuable veteran leader on this team. I see no downside to this, honestly, because if you sign him and he flames out and he's bad, you just DFA him, because he's like, there's no money attached to this. So I would definitely consider this one. It is one of the more intriguing names that I've heard. The last two, Andrew Vaughn and Anthony Rizzo, are the most intriguing names that I've heard anywhere in terms of Triston Casas replacements. And if I were Craig Breslow, I'd be reaching out to be like, hey, what do you think? What do you think? Do you want to come to Boston? What do you think? Should the Red Sox sign Anthony Rizzo? If you think they should, type S in the comments for if you would sign him, or P for pass if you would pass. I'm typing S. I would definitely consider it. I would definitely sign him. I think it's a win-win scenario for everyone. It does not harm anything. You're not paying any amount of money in the world. I would do it, but you let me know. S for sign, P for pass. Let me know in the comments. Two internal options that I saw that were absolutely ludicrous that I'm just not even going to spend much time on, but I just wanted to talk about them to tell everyone that they're not going to happen. One I saw a few times was Wilyer Abreu. No, he is your Gold Glove right fielder. There's no reason to move him out of the outfield. He is one of the best outfielders in baseball, in my opinion. No, that's ludicrous. That doesn't make any sense. You're not moving someone to an unnatural position from a position where they won a Gold Glove last year. That makes absolutely no sense. You're not moving Wilyer Abreu to first base. It's not happening. Second one, Kristian Campbell. I saw multiple comments about moving Kristian Campbell to first base. I'm going to reiterate what I said yesterday about Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony. These young players need consistency, and they need consistency in their natural positions. You are not going to take Kristian Campbell out of his consistent routine by making him learn a new position on the fly. The last thing you want is for Kristian Campbell, who is still a rookie in his first 30 games of his season, to have to learn a new position on the fly in big league games. If you want to see more errors in the infield, that's how you do it. Kristian Campbell is finally getting comfortable at second. He's starting to make good plays at second. He's looking like a big league second baseman. Do not stunt that growth by moving him to first base. They're not going to do it, but I'm saying that argument, that argument does not work for me. It doesn't work. I know that we want to throw as many ideas at the wall and see what sticks, but Wilyer Abreu and Kristian Campbell, those ideas are not sticking. It's not going to happen. We're going to talk about the game here in 1 second, but again, if you have not already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. If the Red Sox make a trade for Andrew Vaughn, if they go out and sign Anthony Rizzo, we are going to make a video for you. I'm going to check real quick to make sure I didn't miss anything. I did not. So hit that subscribe button. Like I said, we are less than 20 subscribers away from 1,600 subscribers. We're trying to be the fastest growing Red Sox YouTube channel on the internet. So if you've not already, consider hitting that subscribe button. Okay, Red Sox lose 4-3. I said this in my short that I posted last night. This felt like the second game of the Toronto series. It was very frustrating because they didn't necessarily play a bad ball game. I don't really think they played a bad ball game. It was just some unlucky instances where, Hunter Dobbins got lit up a little bit, and then the offense at the end of the game just had some very, very untimely hitting. I mean, look, Hunter Dobbins, I'm very high on him. And he's probably going to be up here for a few more starts because Buehler is going to miss 1 or 2 starts on the 15-day IL. But he didn't play. He played his worst game so far of his MLB career. 5 2/3, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, and then he had the home run, the two-run home run. Was it a 2-run home run? It was a 2-run home run, if I remember correctly. Yes, 2-run home run. And then in that same inning, they scored another run. So it was really, he until the 6th, he had only given up 1 run, and then in the 6th, he gives up 3. So he pitched a relatively good game. It was like it was literally like the Giolito start. It was like you got to that last inning and you had a few outs and you just weren't able to finish the inning. And that's literally what happened with Giolito in that second Toronto game. So there are a lot of parallels to that game for me as well. And then the offense, look, 12 hits, 9 Ks, 2 walks, that's on paper, that's a good game. Everyone had a hit except for Abreu, who went 0 for 5. Bregman didn't have a hit either, but he had 2 walks. That's a good game from your offense. It's just untimely hitting. You had 2 runners on in the 8th with 1 out, and Connor Wong grounds into an inning double play. That absolutely took the air out of Fenway Park. And this was after a rain delay, by the way, as well. So, they had opportunities. And they scored 2 runs in the 7th. They got back within 1 run. And then you got 2 runners on in the 8th. You had 1 out. And then the absolute black hole that is Connor Wong in the lineup grounds into an inning double play. Absolutely demoralizing. Very untimely hitting. And that's what did it for the Sox. They ended up losing the game. And they're 1 game above 500. They're the mid-Sox once again. Hopefully not. Hopefully they win the game today. But this is frustrating because the Yankees lost yesterday. You could have made up an entire game on the Yankees and would have been a game back in the AL East. But now you're still sitting 2 games back. And the Yankees are playing Tampa Bay, who aren't that good. So I would expect the Yankees to win today. If they don't, I'd be genuinely surprised. So kind of a blown opportunity if you're Boston, and move on today and win the series. But you let me know. Do the Red Sox win the series today? Just comment yes or no in the comment section down below. I'm going to say yes. Who's on the mound today for Boston? I'm totally off my rocker. Who's on the mound today? Nope, that's yesterday. Oh no, sorry guys, I'm killing it at the end. Who's on the mound today for Boston? Crochet. Oh, they should win today. Okay, they should win the series today. But you let me know. Yes or no? Are the Red Sox going to win the series? It's a good matchup. It's Chris Paddock versus Garrett Crochet, but it's Garrett Crochet. So you let me know, yes or no, down below in the comments. This is where I'm going to end it. A little bit of a longer video, but I wanted to really get into the weeds on some of these Triston Casas replacements. But again, subscribe if you've not already. Join the channel. Daily videos recapping every single game, hitting you with the latest news and rumors. Don't miss out. Hit the channel. And until next time, go Sox.